Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Unexplained Cases Live. You've got Rick Garner, Darren, Dedo, and Maryam the Medium here again. Hope everyone's having an awesome Sunday, rolling on down to the end of it. If you're on the East Coast, you guys, still got another evening ahead of you there a little bit. The beauty of times, the beauty of times there. That's actually why this time worked out great for everybody, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And what daylight savings time's coming up too, right?
Oh, that. Wow. We're actually now that's part of our shtick now. We're talking about daylight savings time.
Paranormal.
It's time travel. Bottom of the barrel.
It's time travel. I can be here and then somehow I go backwards an hour. All right, enough of that. All right, stupid.
That's when you know you're old, when you're talking about the weather and the time change.
Going to get the mail.
Any chance to be able any chance to be able to harass you a little bit there. I don't get that opportunity too often. Oh, hey, we got a special guest. Hey, Oliver, what's going on?
Mascot. Oliver the mascot.
That's
Paranormal
awesome.
Team.
That's awesome. So, hey, everybody, welcome. Let's see who we got. Let's see, we've got a little Robert there in the comments so far. So, looking forward to everybody sliding on in, but want to make sure that everyone knows we've got something pretty special in the works for next Saturday.
So excited!
It's going to be a special, very special, Unexplained Cases Live, as we've kind of got a little hashtag Save Halloween going on, and got a little clip to kind of prepare you here for it.
That was good, man. I got like the hair standing up on my arms, man. Whoa, that's crazy. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, I've been there a few times, and it's an amazing place. It's a very weird place. So go ahead. You can tell us more about our friends who are going to be there with us.
Right. Yeah. Well, our basically some fans of ours. Basically, we appreciate them. They've been hanging out with our shows for quite a while, but it's also we've been trying to actually collab with them for a while. Skeleton Crew Paranormal. They're located.
They just chimed in. They said, "Hey, everyone."
Yeah. Hey, awesome. They're about an hour away from Winchester there, so this worked out fantastic. We'll be doing some more planning with them this week. Get everybody ready, but just like the spot said, facebook.com/unexplained cases. That's where you can find out the information. It's a ticketed event, and basically we're also trying to help out Winchester since they've been closed since March. But that's part of the Save Halloween campaign, of which we've got something even bigger, schnazzier, fabulouser, in other words that don't exist that I can make up, that's coming up next month for
huge, October. Enormous,
huge, so
gigantic.
Stay tuned for that for sure.
Talking about Halloween, or
this is a PG-13 show.
It's a family show. Come on,
somebody give me some more vodka.
So now let's see. Now Linda was asking, does Winchester Mystery House have all those bells? Well, hey, they've got a bell.
I know, I've seen it. Yes,
we'll bring out all the bells and whistles, anything else that we could throw at this. Basically, hey Tammy, welcome there. Actually, Tammy, appreciate your backdrop, Miriam. So got a little. So
Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, see, it's fabulous. But how do you go on the virtual tour? Facebook.com/unexplained cases. Check it out. Got it at the top of the page there. Michael Chen, welcome, dude. Glad to see you.
What's up, Mike?
Got Mary Christina again. So awesome people that are in the chat as always.
Australia and Ireland. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool. I want to do a live investigation in Australia or Ireland.
Okay, so I think there's a request. It's officially been put out there. So
haunted koala bears.
Well, see what we can throw another shrimp on the barbie for you and see what's going on.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, I was actually doing a little bit of padding time in case anyone recognized that at all. I was hoping that I was trying to get our psychic artist Angela Boley in, but I'm not quite sure she's connecting. So maybe we'll try and see if we can get her looped in. But if she's actually able to hear anything, then I'm like, you're not locked in. The signal's not locked in there, Linda. So. We'll
she could draw it and then email it to you. And then you flip around your screen and show us what you drew.
I've got some material, but I kind of need Angela to complete it there. So, but we'll see if we can, if we can get her in. But tonight's show a little bit different. We didn't actually have a guest, but we've got some crazy stuff that's going on.
Wild and wacky stuff.
Some wild and wacky. Let's get some Johnny Carson going on here. So,
oh, no, what's happening to the show? My
I don't know. It started with talking about the weather, and then it was all downhill after that.
This is great. What are you talking about? This is fine. So it's until everyone starts bailing from the comments, then it's a problem. So tonight, paranormal videos. They're all over the stinking internet. My goodness, there's so many out there. It's ridiculous. So Mr. Dedo had the task to find a few. Dug up a fascinating little list there. So hey, let's get into it. What's the first one that we're going to be taking a peek at there, sir?
Our numero uno. This was one about, and I remember when it happened. It was, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 8 or 10 years ago. There was a guy, the Catacombs in Paris. Obviously below ground. They were having a problem. They didn't have enough places to bury bodies, so they used these catacombs. And so anyway, people go down there, they do some exploring. This individual allegedly went down there by himself, had a camcorder, shot some video, had a crazy experience, and well, I'll just let them take it from there.
Awesome. Well, we'll roll that beautiful bean footage then.
I can't even imagine going through. As a bit of backstory, in the late 18th century, the city of Paris had a big issue with their population. Many people were dying every day, and the cemeteries were absolutely overfilled with bodies and crude burials. In fact, mass graves were beginning to become a big problem for the city, so a network of underground tunnels were built to remedy this issue. These tunnels were spread under the entire city and functioned as a way to bury the dead, as a mass tomb of sorts. The tunnel system itself spans over 200 miles and is said to contain the bodies of over 6 million people within the walls. They call this network of tunnels the Catacombs, and Paris offers tours of the catacombs, but it is limited to a very small section of them. This leads daring and in some ways stupid explorers into sneaking to the tunnels and exploring for themselves in the dead of night, past the boundaries of the tours that the city offers. It is worth noting that a very large percentage of the catacombs have been uncharted and unexplored. This is because it is truly just very dangerous to go in by yourself, and even with a team, it is easy to get disoriented and lost within the vast maze of tunnels. They are not very organized, and as you can see from this map here, there is a lot of them. So this first clip we're going to show is some found footage of a man's last moments captured in the catacombs. He went exploring and had his camcorder with him, and you're about to see he grows increasingly worried and starts panicking and running deeper and deeper into the catacombs. This video clip is accompanied by a commentary by a filmmaker that was given the footage.
It's very bizarre. These arrows point in the direction. Occasionally also, he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs. So basically, he's filming what he's seeing very deep inside the catacombs, other than the point of view shots or pictures of human bones, the catacombs for centuries. So it is possible with these paintings that we may be able to retrace his itinerary to some extent. After about, we hear his breathing get louder and louder. As though something was scaring him. He's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors. He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs. And all of a sudden, this video camera
We'll attempt to slow that down.
What happened to him?
The man behind
he
increasingly stressed and worried, causing him to panic and get himself further into the catacombs.
Well, supposedly, whatever happened there, made him so scared that he dropped the camera. And Rick, we think he just went running off into the tunnels, and that's the last time anybody saw him. No body was ever recovered. The only thing allegedly was that camcorder, and somebody gave that camcorder to that guy that did the filmmaker. Right. So I don't know, something weird happened. I thought somebody like pushed him, somebody hit him. I don't know what happened. First of all, go on the tour that they give you. I have no problem with that. But when you start going by yourself, I mean, that video gave me a panic attack. The anxiety. Can you imagine that you're lost down there? So, Maryam, what about? I mean, you got 6 million people down there that are dead. I'm sure it's pretty easy.
We should do a remote viewing of that. Like, we could probably do a whole episode if there's that many people down there. Is this picture from that video? Can you see it?
I believe so. Yes. Rick, your eyes are bad as mine, but I think it is.
Yeah, I see both of you squinting.
Little glare from the lights.
There was. Okay.
No, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, so hang on one sec. I'm just kind of connecting that there was so much happening, and there is so much energy down there. Like, that really does need its own episode.
Did you pick up anything on the is the guy dead?
No, that guy got out. The guy got out. Oh. They got his camera later. What happened to him was real in the sense of the fear, the running. That was all real, because I'm actually seeing this, like, that place is dark as man. That obviously, like, again, you could do a whole session on that, but he got out.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's great, because nobody ever heard from him again.
Well, I don't know if that's true, that nobody heard from him again. I'm sorry. I'm kind of in and out, because I was watching the video like, oh my God, what happened? And then I'm like, now I have to connect. So this is what I'm hearing is he got out. That incident was real. Okay. He wasn't playing that up. What they did play up a little was him never being heard from again. He survived. But it's like the level of fear that was instilled in him caused him to go into hiding and not want to be approached. He knew that once that camera was found, this would be huge, and he didn't want to have any association with it anymore. He might have even, I'm also feeling like maybe suicide played a part, just because it drove him insane. What he experienced and what he felt, but I'm not feeling or hearing that he died there. I'm hearing the opposite, that he actually did make it out, but he did drop the camera. Like, that happened. And shit, what's down there is just, there's so much down there, I can't even get sucked in.
Well, there's 6 million dead people. That could be a little scary, I think.
The amount of catacombs there on that map is clear that's just a crazy
amount of city under Paris.
Yeah,
I'm surprised no one's picked that for one of our investigations.
Well, and like we've relied on as folks to actually, choose it themselves, basically. So
yeah, of course.
So it's interesting that they hadn't. And so let's see, Mary, Christina, and I think Tammy. If you didn't connect by what we're saying, the splash was basically the guy had just dropped his camera, and since they're catacombs, there's a lot of places where it's water, it may kind of flood, and so that was just, the camera was just laying in some water there basically until it was located. So
hey, can I ask you, got a friend of mine, Beatrice, who Maryam, she wants to know, could you ever pick up on the energy of one of your viewers on the live stream instead of on the scene or the place being watched? Hey, B.
I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure it's possible, but I feel like I would know, I would be told, I would know, I would somehow be alerted. Like, I would feel like that it's not connecting to the story or the situation. But that's a good question.
All right. You want to go to number 2?
Go on number 2. Go ahead and set that up there, kind sir.
Yeah, this is one that's fascinated me for years. The Dyatlov incident in the Ural Mountains with the Russian hikers in 1959. They went up there on an expedition, if you will, and they ended up being killed by something. Some people say it was a Yeti. Some others believe it was a Russian or Soviet experiment gone bad, or UFOs. So let's go ahead and take a look.
And over the last 60 years, has become one of the most infamous unsolved mysteries in Russian history. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident. On January 23rd, 1959, 10 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute leave the city of Sverdlovsk in order to go hiking in the Ural Mountains. Not a long trip, they're expected back by February 12th. They're good friends and experienced hikers, so the trip was expected to go smoothly. They arrive by train in their town of Ivdel before taking a bus to the much smaller town of Visay. One of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, leaves the group due to poor health. The 9 remaining hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, make their way to the north slope of Kalatsiakl. On February 1st, the group make their way up the north slope of Kalatsiakl, one of the shorter peaks of the Ural Mountains. There, they set up their tent, digging out a space below it for some extra room. At some time during the night of February 2nd, around 6 to 8 hours after their last meal, an unknown event forced the group to cut their tent open from the inside in an attempt to escape. Footprints show that they then walked slowly away from the tent and down the slope towards a small forest, presumably knowing it would be their best cover against the freezing wind. Between the tent and the tree line, the bodies of 3 hikers, Zinaida Kolmogrova, Rustam Slobodin, and Igor Dyatlov. They were found with their heads facing the tent, suggesting that they were attempting to turn back. Beyond the tree line, next to a large cedar tree, 2 more of the group are found to have died of hypothermia, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko. Both of the bodies found around the tree were wearing almost no clothing, let alone protection from the cold. Around 50 meters away from them and buried deep in the snow, the last 4 were discovered. Lyudmila Debinina, Alexander Kolovatov, Semyon Zolotarov, and Nikolai Thibyubignol. Unlike the others, Lyudmila, Semyon, and Nikolai were found to have died of blunt force trauma, resulting from, quote, an impact of great force.
Well, so the one thing he left out, that's a couple of them had their eyes missing,
yes,
ripped out, and then the other, yeah, that's exactly. So I think the Russians did another investigation recently, and they concluded that it was an avalanche, and they died from a combination of hypothermia and something else. I've never heard of an avalanche, maybe crushing somebody's skull. Yeah, ripping out somebody's tongue or, you know, their eyeballs. You know, there's several theories that it was an attack from like a Yeti or Bigfoot or something like that, that supposedly that had been stalking them. Also, that there was a fireball that was seen in the sky about when this happened. Was it a Soviet experiment that something went awry because some of the clothing had radiation on it of the victims? And then, you know, was it just something weird happened out there that they got, something made them disoriented or crazy? And because why would you take your clothes off? You know, I mean, these are veteran hikers that know that area.
Young.
That's why yeah, they're very young and they were obviously in good shape. I don't know. I just
so this was
so Marion, you got a lot to work with there.
It was alien for sure. It wasn't there. It was alien with some human involvement. So there was the human aspect was the Russians were there. There was humans involved. They were doing something, creating something, working on something. They work closely with alien groups, and there was the alien group that was involved was simply like these guys shouldn't have been in that territory at that time. And there were human Russians that knew they shouldn't have been in that territory at that time and didn't stop them or didn't know they were there, because there is this interaction between Russians and aliens that happens regularly. They work together, they're creating things, and these are lower level groups. These aren't, this isn't higher end, meaning beings that work from light, that work from love. These are really low vibrational beings that don't care about life, their own life, human life. They are all about preserving and gathering as much knowledge, power. These guys were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And
Tammy's getting goosebumps from when you talked about the alien and human creature, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it wasn't one creature that was half alien, half human. It was humans. Humans were involved in this, and aliens were involved in this. And the human Russians and the aliens work together to gain power, to gain knowledge. And this is just these hikers shouldn't have been there at that time. So the Russians either forgot they were there, didn't know they were there, didn't tell them not to go there, didn't want to make a scene and say, oh, you can't hike there, because people would ask why. And so it was allowed to happen. And these aliens came in and were like, dude, get out of here. Like, this is for whatever reason at that moment, they were working on something and they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Of course, it's the height of the Cold War. You know what I mean? So Russians and Americans and that whole thing, the, arms race. And so why not try to get an advantage and, work with an alien race? So, and a lot of UFO sightings in Russia, quite a bit.
No kidding. That makes sense. Yeah. That's just sad, because that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it's a pretty grim way that a lot of them died. So
yeah, they didn't need to.
No, Rick. On that happy note, we'll bring you back in. We'll move from Russia to the United Kingdom, I think, right?
Yes, actually. So, you got any setup you want to roll on this one?
Yeah, this is a gentleman that's on a motorcycle on his way to a wedding. Everything seems like it's going fairly well, and then he probably peed his knickers, I think, after this happens. So we will roll the video.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty nicely. So yeah, we'll check that out. The anticipation.
Seriously.
Oh, wait for it. It's good. I mean, there's like nothing there, and then that whatever it was appeared
Mhm.
lady in white out of nowhere, and the guy's reaction is
It's priceless. You
it,
know,
it's colorful language.
well, and I took care of that one just a little bit there, basically. But yeah,
I mean, if it's a fake, it's amazing because the guy's reaction, he was incredible. If it was somebody playing a trick, didn't it just come out of nowhere?
oh yeah, you know. So and at a freeze
Glowing
frame
eyes.
right there, you're like, well, so what you're talking about eyes, I think that's maybe some light behind there, but
Yeah.
it's one of those that you're like, is it? Could it?
I mean, there's so many stories about a lady in white, a woman in white, or somebody, on a highway, I don't know. I mean, if it was somebody playing a joke, it was pretty scary, because
Right?
what if the guy would have wiped out? He could have killed him or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't feel fake to me. It feels real. And this feels like as soon as I saw her, I felt a woman in mourning that lost her family or child, that was so devastated. The pain was just so intense they're saying that almost sometimes when the pain is so intense, that it allows the figure to be seen even stronger and louder and clearer. Some of that light, they're saying some of the light is coming from somewhere else. So like, I don't, that maybe I'm feeling like that the photo may have been doctored to a certain degree. That's what it feels like, but it's real. It feels like they're saying the photo was doctored so that it would stand out as much as it does. But it's real. And it's a woman who lost they're saying like a family, like she lost, it was a car accident, lost her whole family in a car accident. She was the only one that survived. She had like a 8-month-old, 2 little ones, 4 and 6, and a husband.
Oh,
And just will never leave that place. We'll never leave that. I mean,
sad.
yeah, understandably.
Wow.
Well, that's terrible. I mean, it's, I guess the thing is, it's the guy's reaction is, remarkable, because
crazy.
then we don't see it, because he does a U-turn and then he goes back and there's nothing there.
Right.
So the lady,
he did?
yeah. So I mean, if it was somebody in a costume, they'd have to get out of there fast.
Well, and in a way that could be done very easily, but like the end of that clip is the fact that he stops and then goes back in that direction, which I think most people would probably be like, hey, I really got to check this out, but then some would be like, nope, I'm just gonna keep on going.
Can you play the end of the clip?
I don't have the
Do
end
we
of the clip
have it?
loaded. I don't have that loaded, so I only queued up certain
the good part. Yeah, that's the good. That mean we only watched the good part. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they did say that some of it, some of it was doctored to a certain degree so that she would stand out more. There was something that went on there. So it's but it's very real, and she's very real.
Wow, awesome.
I think so too. I think it's real. Okay, so this next one, you guys actually found it down in Brazil, where being a security guard, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 security guards must be a hospital or something like that, in the morgue, and they're on their watch.
I hate this one.
Flashlight, looking around, and they're investigating some type of strange noise. And,
yes. And so after this clip, Angela, looks like we've got her back. So we'll check with Angela after this clip.
This is like a horror movie.
It is. It's creepy as hell.
The lights. That's yeah.
I mean,
and look at the end of the hall. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a dude. It's a young dude who's pissed.
And then obviously something, it's like, oh, I don't know. Those guys are pretty brave.
Do a little checkout, see what's going on. So that's kind of like
it was like a maintenance box or something for the water system. And yeah, there's no wind. I'm sure they're in the basement, you know. Scary.
I wonder if that guy was scared, which is like, this happens all the time, you know. But there is, I feel like that there's a young man in there who was pissed off because he died. It's like, he's not even like, you know how some people are, when they die, they're like sad and scared and what, you know, and I miss this person. He's just pissed. He's just like, I never should have died. Like, I feel like he died in like it feels like a fight of some sorts. And it's just his ego that's pissed. So he just he's so stuck in his anger. You know, it's interesting because spirits, like humans, you know, we get stuck in an emotion and it keeps us in one place. We do that when we're in body too, you know. We hold on to pain or anger or sadness, and we hold on to that, and it keeps us from growing. But the same thing with this spirit, he's just stuck there because he's so busy being so angry that he lost that fight and that he died. And so he's just going to terrorize whoever he can as long as he can. The problem is right now he's stuck in that location and can't see his way out. What's also interesting is it feels like the security guard, whoever that gentleman was, he feels like someone who is almost immune to this stuff and is just like, whatever. It's like a parent with an angry child, and people are like, oh my God, the child's so angry, and the parent's like, he'll be fine. You know, I see this all the time. Like, that's the vibe of what goes on in there, because there is a lot of in that location specifically, there is a lot of paranormal activity that happens, and it's
I'm sure in a morgue,
commonplace.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
Well, so since we
go ahead, Angela. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my internet dropped completely, and I just now got it back, so it just disappeared.
We're glad it came back in time. Hi, Angela.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, well, welcome. So, you know, we talked about doing this at the beginning of the show, assuming I can actually get the share back, because if that doesn't happen, then that's just going to be awkward.
That will make for a long 30 or 27 minutes.
Well, no, it's if I can't do that, I'm going to dip out and come back in basically for just a second, because that may be the only way I can fix that, and then we can share what you provided. So, if you want to give just a little bit of backstory, Angela, I'm going to be right back.
Sure, absolutely. So, all I had at first was your first name, not your last name, and your city and state. So I didn't have as much to go down as I normally do. But I did have someone still come forward even then. And then he is a male, and I'm getting a Korean War feel, like a strong connection to the Korean War. And when you see him, you'll see that he's military, and he was in the Korean Army, or in the American Army, U.S. Army, I should say, during the Korean War. I get the impression that he was severely injured in that conflict, that he was right there when the Chinese started to pour in over the border.
Oh, wow.
Darren, this is your guy. Did you catch that? This is for you?
No, it's really?
Yes.
What?
This is for you.
Yes, he's attached to you. And this is somebody I have to move on. He keeps saying, reliving that over again. He doesn't feel like he's worthy of moving over to the light, so he's kind of stuck to you. You look very similar to each other, and I think in some ways you remind him of himself. And
so we're not necessarily related then.
No, not necessarily related. I get the name Bob. He keeps saying, "Son, okay. my son," because the very first thing the Chinese poured over the border, they were firing mortars and guns, and he was severely injured, I believe. He kept showing me bones or bone fragments, so I believe his physical remains may still be in Korea.
Oh, wow.
He kept saying, son, son. So I believe he's looking at you as someone who reminds him of his son, that he should have been able to live to see. And he attached to you, but I brought in the Holy Mother of God, and she is comforting him and communicating to him that he is free to move on in the heavenly realms. He just doesn't worthy because he was involved in the war. So with all the shooting and all the violence and everything that comes with and everything that he saw and all the emotions, it just felt like to him, he didn't feel worthy enough of moving on. And
Wow.
you could see that because he was also showing me some of the weapons. That's where you have the M1 rifle. He was showing me the M1. He was showing me, of course, the helmet style is Korean War. But the injury that he was showing was more severe than that, and I didn't want to be too graphic when we first saw him, but severe head injury and part of his head's missing, actually.
Oh my God.
And
so if he reminds me of his son in something like this, is it somebody just kind of goes through the afterlife and tries to attach to somebody that they're like, hey, this guy seems like a nice person?
Right. Especially with soldiers, in my experience with soldiers, they just want to go home. So they just kind of grab to anything that looks familiar. And because they want that connection with home, especially soldiers that never got to go home.
Right.
And
this could happen anywhere, right? I mean, it not necessarily where I am right now, but it could have been years ago.
Could have been years ago. I get the feeling that maybe in one of your investigations that he caught a glimpse of you and just followed you and stayed with you.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's
very sad. Very,
really
very sad. I mean, it's really, what a sad story.
Yes, he didn't make it home. He didn't make it home, and he's still looking for home. But I believe I got him in a good place right now, where I've helped heal that wound. The memory of that wound. It's like it's gone now because me and the Holy Mother, we're going to move him over. We're going to cross him over, so he can actually meet up with his relatives on the other side. I still feel like his remains are still in Korea, and he wants them to be brought back. It's going to. I don't know if that will ever.
So, like North Korea, then probably.
Yes, North Korea.
Yeah.
Right on the border with China.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating. Thank you, Angela.
That was really neat.
So, considering the amount of time, the original plan that I had mentioned with Angela was while we were doing this, if there was just something that just you had an impression or whatever to be able to paint on. I don't necessarily think we've got enough time to tackle that since there's only 20 minutes left in the show. But I at least wanted to get this part in because we've done that work and everything. So my goodness, thanks for doing that. So
yes,
that
absolutely.
was an amazing painting, Angela. That was really cool. A great story too.
Yeah, and just as usual, since I think we may have to say this was going to have to be a quick do that and goodbye there. So if folks would like to see more of your work and how to maybe get a portrait from you, Angela, what do they need to do for that?
Well, you go to Facebook, you can go to just type in Angela Boley, portrait artist. And of course, you see my name on the screen here. Last name spelled B as in boy, O-L-E-Y as in yellow. Portrait artist, type that in. I come up. You can just leave a comment and any of the paintings that you're interested in the portrait. I'll be glad to help you with that. And of course, I split the charging up, so you're not paying a whole bunch of money at once. It's just half now, half later, to make it easier on people. And then I email you the portrait so you can see it even before it's shipped to you, and can give you the backstory, and they stay in touch with you. And of course, if there's anything else, or if you have referrals or somebody else, even as a gift for somebody else, please let me know. All I need is a first, last name, city, and state to start with my remote viewing to connect with you. And then I connect with the spirit. Usually spirit finds me, and they're just anxious to talk. And we communicate. I feel their presence. They come into my presence, and then I'll do their portrait right there. And
Awesome.
send that off to you.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, Angela, thanks so much for dropping in.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate having
Thanks,
you
Angela.
sharing that. Wow.
That was awesome.
Crazy image there. That was awesome. So thanks. We'll see you.
Have a good night.
So to continue on, kind sir, I guess you have the next round of fun.
Are we going in order?
We're going in order. We're going in order. Not
okay.
Okay.
So this one is another. It's pretty famous. It's a viral piece of video from Colorado, and maybe not. It's supposed to be an alien. So I don't know if you want to show. It was captured on a security camera at a house. I'm trying to think what city. Yeah.
So
no, we're going to Gettysburg. No, we can go to Gettysburg.
You had a good setup though, so that was a nice little news clip basically. So we'll get to that. But in this case, yes, Yankee Rib had something interesting. So
exactly, and it's supposedly a sighting. You and I were in Gettysburg almost a couple of years ago. With 3,551 soldiers, died there, like 50,000 suffered casualties, both sides. And so these guys are out doing some ghost hunting in an area, there's roads everywhere with cannons. When about 20 minutes in, they discovered something pretty crazy.
Yep. And we're actually jumping just to the moment, and then we'll dip out of that.
Holy crap. Down by the canyon, you see that?
Oh, what is that? No way. What is that?
I have no friggin' idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
Oh my gosh. Did you see that?
Now,
so
for me, I'm just going to say, to me, I'm
you call it BS
Boulder Dash on that one, but that's just me.
Like taking one shot of the static, nothing there, and then having whatever then have the individual walk, and then merge the shot somehow.
Incredible footage, and
if real, right?
That's also why we're talking about these. Basically, is like that whole setup there. It just seems suspicious to me, basically. Now, obviously, you and I have been to Gettysburg. That place is just completely
the energy, yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt whatsoever on that one.
What do you think, Maryam? I mean, there's so many.
I was like, "Are you done?"
Yep, I'm done. I'm done.
No, this is obviously how I base these things. Is if there's something there, I connect with it. Now, there can be something there and I don't connect with it, and I'll be told there is something there, but I'm not able to read it or feel it or see it. I don't feel anything there in this one. I'm not connecting to anything. I don't feel anything there. I just don't.
So even, I guess, the other activity that would be in that area, not just that specific incident, you're just not picking up on anything then?
Not from... I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything there. I don't, and I don't necessarily, what's kind of throwing me off is I don't feel like these guys were making something up. I don't feel like it was staged and it didn't work. I just don't feel anything there. That's all I keep being told is yeah.
Well, that makes it easy to go to the next piece of the video then. Since we're getting up against the clock.
I was about to say, yes. So moving right along in your order there.
Where are we going next? My sheet's all over the place. It's like a news rundown.
Well, I'll tell you right here. So, okay. So that's...
yeah.
So we're talking about a little midair UFO sighting there, basically. So
flight that was on its way to Athens, I think is where it was. And let me see if I got the name of the individual that did the video. Somebody named Carrie Foridas, maybe, filmed this, I think it was March 28th of 2018, posted it on his Facebook page, sharing it, went viral. The one thing that was interesting is he posted it on Facebook in the article stating that there were striking similarities between what he observed during the flight and what was featured in an article which covered a UFO sighting in Switzerland. So almost the same type of a craft. So if we want to show the folks.
Okay, what is that? Holy crap.
And since all of that is just music, actually, I'm just going to dip out of that so we can actually look at this. So, they're looking at this.
Defying physics, whatever this large object is.
When was this taken?
I want to say 2018.
Oh, recently.
Yeah. And then there was a similar sighting in Switzerland where it's the same kind of a long type of a craft. It was a different color from, what I saw. But just kind of tracking it with the plane, and it does not look like a trick of the clouds, or it looks like there's some type of a craft there. I don't know if you pick up on it, if this is legit.
Yeah. Oliver keeps bumping all my equipment, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, that's real. I'm just trying to feel who it was. They will not tell me. They will not tell me who that was. Very clearly will not tell me. But that was real, but they will not tell me what beings those were. They're middle level beings. They're not beings that I've associated with before personally. They tend to keep themselves farther. They tend to keep themselves a little bit more hidden. They don't want to be exposed. They don't interact with humans. That was an accident. They didn't want or mean for that to happen.
To happen as in being seen?
Or both times. And what about the thing in Switzerland? I mean, is that the same?
The thing in Switzerland, I'd have to see a photo, but I'm leaning towards it. It wasn't the same group, because this group is very private. Very much into just taking care of themselves and what they need and who they are. They aren't looking for attention. They aren't looking to interact. They aren't looking to cross over with other species. They are very private, and this was just an accident, a random accident on their part.
Looked like something from Independence Day, didn't it? One of those big crafts. I mean, if you're flying, you're up there at 30,000 feet or whatever it is, and you look out there and like, hey, what's that thing that's right off the side of the plane? I mean, that
oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, it was good. It was good video. I mean, right place at the right time. So,
absolutely. All right. So, in case we're not sure what our next one is, I'll roll this ahead. Okay. So actually, this one is again from. Giving some credit to Grimm there, basically. So this is another cam there. This is specifically referring to what some have described as a witch.
Oh,
so what details do you have on that one, Mr.
I lost you.
Oh, you lost me? No?
Oh, I thought he was upset when you said witch. Log out, log back in.
Could you not hear?
Let me change. Hold on.
Well, it's rare actually to have that pleasure.
Which one is the witch? Is it this one that's next?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Can you hear?
I'm sure you were saying lots of wonderful things. This is what happens when you buy something called earpods instead of earpods. So So it's a 50-50 chance. Is it the witch or the witch or the alien?
This is the witch. Well, actually, I think I'm realizing I don't, unless I can find it real quick and we have time, I don't have the alien queued up, but I do have the witch in the reel here, basically.
Let's do it.
That's our next one.
Let's see this witch.
All right, so we'll have a little bit of setup from Mr. Grimm here.
The Arabia, where you can see the driver slowly creeping along at night towards a white figure that is standing on the side of the road.
Is there video?
Almost immediately, you can tell that something isn't
I guess
quite right.
I guess you would like to hear that.
Well,
And the driver.
Thank you.
The white figure begins to approach the vehicle, limping as if it is injured or just old and frail. It is here where the driver begins to yell out commands towards the figure, and according to YouTube comments where someone translated it, he is basically telling the figure to go and back up and get away from his car. Here is the clip with audio.
That's a real person.
Or I thought it was somebody from The Ring, actually.
That's a real person. That's not a ghost.
Could it be a witch, though?
That's first point. Yes, for sure. Definitely not a ghost.
And my point is, if you're seeing that thing chasing you, wouldn't you just get the hell out of there?
I mean,
seriously. Like taunting the thing? I mean, I'd be like, deuces, I'm out late. Bye.
Yeah, that's a. What do they claim it is?
Well, so this was one of those clips where it comes out, and of course they're talking about it, so it's a ghost, and so then you'll see different ones where it's like, oh, and Darren, I think you found this. It's like, oh, it's a monk, and
right. That is certainly not a monk, I don't think.
Instead that it was in the UK, and then there was and
but
Grimm,
it's really Saudi Arabia.
Well, and if you look up Grimm's full video there, basically, he kind of sets the stage a little bit more and goes on to where, people have reused that and they think it's this, but it originated in Saudi Arabia. It had nothing to do with UK. And then I think I even came across something that it was like, well, it could have been a film project. And it's like, well, you look at that and it's like, okay, it's not a ghost. So let's just go ahead and just X that off.
Right.
But then someone's like, oh, well, it's a witch, or, oh, it's, disproportionate, look at how their head is positioned and everything. And I'm like,
yeah, the kind of like this and had the cane, I think.
It could have been, all jokes aside, like my grandmother was Persian and she covered herself up completely. And the older she got, the more hunched over you get. It's like, it's not that far fetched, but also witches. Okay, so do you hear Oliver?
I think it's a witch. He says it's a witch.
He had a comment about it.
Because Oliver knows what a real witch is, and that's TV's version of witches. Witches, when witches existed, they looked like you and I. They didn't look like that. So,
He's like, Oliver's like, we're not talking about witches tonight. There's no witches on the show.
My mom's the only witch. End of story. Yeah, so I don't even know what to do with that, other than that was a person, and they're trying to make it into something that it's not. So, you guys feel the same way. Doesn't take a psychic, right?
I was like, God, it'd be almost too fantastic to believe, but
yeah.
But then
once you see it, you can see the physical attributes.
Right. It's scary, but is it real? I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, you got time for one more, or are we out of time?
We do have time, I believe, for one more, and so
There's probably some like little old lady who needed help, and they were so busy being
It's
scared
like I'm
they
trying
didn't
to
help
walk
her.
into the car, and you keep pulling away from me. What
Right?
kind of person are you?
What are you doing there?
And the guy's like, "You're a witch."
Exactly. So come on, let's work with this. Let me
the hybrid between a Harry Potter or character and E.T.
Right. Well, so we have this little news report.
Just about 4:45, and take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado. All right, Vivian Gomez wrote on Facebook that her security camera captured this on Sunday morning. There are people on Facebook who say it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, or a ghost or an alien, or a kid in flip-flops and underwear. We think it looks like Lisa doing her Sunday morning dance. I don't know.
yeah.
Lisa, were you in La Junta?
See, you know, that's our classic news banter there. So
Hey, that kind of looks like you. 25 years of that. No.
Never heard that at all.
Don't ask me that
Darren
question.
Darren needs to be in therapy after tonight.
Exactly. Ladies in white. I saw another follow-up story where they actually interviewed the mom and her son, and the reporter's like, "Are you sure that's not you with your underwear on his head?" And he's like, "No, it wasn't me." You know. Now I would say that because they kind of tried to recreate it, that his legs look bigger than whatever that thing's legs were. I mean, maybe it could be. I don't know. I always say, okay, if you want to go on TV, do you want to expose yourself to that kind of ridicule? You know what I mean? Because then, people are going to doubt you and say, oh, you're a liar, you're crazy. I don't know. What do you think, Em?
Not from my alien family.
No,
that is not that's not an alien. So
just
debunked.
Yeah.
Not see now. Actually, there was a question here from Jess here, basically on that very topic, and that's probably the last question we have time for. But any feedback on that particular question there?
Oh God, I mean, it's like they live all over. I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, when we did that alien segment with the two gentlemen, Jessica, if you didn't see that, you should go back and watch that. That was even then my amount of information was super limited. Even then I wasn't able to get really specific on who, what, and where. So I don't know. To answer the question, I don't know. I don't know where they were, because they all live in different galaxies and different locations,
Oh yeah.
There you go. There you
go. So it was kind of like, hey, some good stuff, some other, not really buying it. I think my favorite one is the dude on the motorcycle.
Well,
with the ghost lady.
I mean, that was a pretty legit
real emotion.
Well, I'm like,
yeah.
If you're flying along and you come in, if you're flying along and someone's in the middle of the road, that's going to be scary enough. Middle of the night,
right.
You see something that you instantly process as, okay, that's not supposed to be there, and nor is it entirely there. Then,
right. It's something.
It's
unexplained, if you will. Very scary and dark place.
You beat me to it, only by a second. So, hey, folks, well, we enjoyed just having a little bit of different take on tonight. And we won't necessarily always be sticking to script, so to speak, because that's why we're Unexplained Cases. You never know what type of cases we're going to fall into. But apparently, I'm hearing from M that we need to have our own investigation of the Catacombs.
Yeah,
ooh, creepy.
So that one is clearly clearly a whole episode unto itself. So. Everybody, if you haven't had a chance, check out facebook.com/unexplained cases to look at next Saturday's event at the Winchester Mystery House. We hope that you'll be able to see you there live. But for now, thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Night.
Good night.